Good evening everyone. I'm going to do a yoga video tonight which will be excuse me, which will be a stretchy yoga video. So lots of postures and poses that might be a wee bit uncomfortable just to stretch off the bodies. I feel like I need a bit of a stretch, probably after all the videos I've been doing. So a really good stretch. So a lot of the postures will be held for quite a wee while. Sort of going on a yin yoga type feel, so you tend to hold your postures a bit longer. They're really trying to work on that flexibility. And a lot of people have commented on maybe their flexibility is not that great and maybe they've been neglecting it a little bit, and so I thought maybe this video might be helpful for people that want to maybe have a wee try and improve flexibility a wee bit. So the postures can be quite intense, can be quite uncomfortable. I encourage you to try and stay in the posture as much as possible. The posture should be maybe a little bit uncomfortable, but it should never be painful. And if it's ever painful or it gets too uncomfortable for you, too intense, it's absolutely fine to come out of the posture at any point that you need to. So don't worry about that, and you can just build it up gradually. In this video, I'm not going to actually do the postures for too long tonight, but if you want to maybe do them for a bit longer, you can take any of the postures and poses and do them a wee bit longer, especially if you've got a particular area that you feel is tight or particularly uncomfortable. You might just want to work a wee bit longer on that one and take the postures and do them a bit longer, or even pause the video and just stay in that posture and that pose until you're ready to come out and you can play the video again. So although it's sort of a stretchy session, I'm also doing quite a calm sort of atmosphere. Make sure you've got a nice bit of space. Maybe make sure the room is quite warm, or try and be quite warm, because our muscles are going to stretch a lot further when they're warm. So try and keep the area quite warm, or as warm as you can. You might want a couple of things with you, things like a couple of pillows. We just use these for a bit of comfort, and just whatever you've got in the house is fine. I've also got a blanket, which can be nice at the end, but I also use the blanket to support my head when we're doing some of our lying down postures as well. So yeah, that should really be all that you need, and just make do with what you've got at home. So I'm going to get started now. Hope you're all ready and ready to go for with our stretchy yoga. So we're just going to start by lying down on our, I'll just put my hair up as well just so it's out of the way. Got a slightly different area today or tonight, so let me know what you think, and a slightly different angle as well for filming, so let me know what you think about this and how you find this video. So we're going to lie down in our Shavasana pose actually to start off with, but this is just really for us to settle. So relaxing the body, shutting down the eyes, and arriving in the space, and arriving in your practice. So I want you to stay lying down, taking nice deep breaths as you lie in your posture. Feel the breath expanding through your lungs on your inhalation, and I want you to try and see if you can really push that breath into the belly. So we're going to try some belly breathing. So on the inhalation, really letting the belly expand and drawing in all the air. And as you exhale, really squeezing all the air out as you exhale. Continue those deep breaths through the belly. And this can often be a really good breath to relax us, to help us sleep at night, and just to calm the mind at the end of the day, or at any point to relax any anxiety. So still lying down in our Shavasana with our belly breathing. And we're just going to start to move, and we're going to bring the feet in, and then we're going to bring the knees into the chest and hug those knees into the chest as tight as you can. And gently put the feet back on the floor so the knees are up, and just gently push yourself up into a seated position. And our first posture today is going to be our fish posture, it's called. So we're going to tuck one leg, doesn't matter which way round you do it, as long as you remember which way round you've done it, and you're going to do it the opposite way the second time. So I'm going to take my left leg, I'm going to tuck it in underneath me. Now I'm not sitting on my heel, but my heel is as close to my bum as I possibly can, or underneath my thigh, back of my thigh. Top leg, which is my right leg, is going to step over as far as I can. And if that's really uncomfortable for you, it's absolutely fine to maybe just be in front of the knee. But if you're able to, you can pop that foot over. Try and square off the hip bones so you're sitting down on both hip bones and sitting up nice and tall. Okay, so there's a nice big stretch up that side of that thigh. Probably feel it in the bum and the glute a little. And all we're going to do is take a nice inhale here. And then we're going to exhale. I want you just to fold forward over your own legs, place the hands down on the floor if that feels nice, and then drop the head over. So you're almost just relaxing over your own top leg. Taking nice deep breaths in. Relax the muscles that might have tensed a little in the posture. Try and soften a little bit further. Release any tension, release any hold you've maybe got. And send the breath to any points of tension, any points of discomfort. For a couple more breaths. Stay for the next inhale, and on the exhale, gently bring yourself out. And as I said, if you want to stay in that a bit longer, please feel free to and do so. Then we're going to take the top leg and we're going to take it out. I'm going to move the bottom leg just over a little bit, and we're going to lengthen the top leg. So this is my right leg and this is my left leg that was underneath. And we're going to put the sole of the foot just against the thigh. If it can't go all the way up there, it's fine to maybe be on the knee or the lower down. I'm going to try and lengthen through that top leg, lengthen through the leg that's straight. This is Janu Sirsasana posture. It's head to knee posture. So relax this leg. Sometimes you might want to find that maybe this is too strained here. You could pop something underneath, maybe the pillows, just to cushion that leg if it's really tight and uncomfortable in that hip. If not, it's absolutely fine, just let the knee drop down to the floor. I'm going to take a nice inhale up to the top. Try and keep the foot active, and as we exhale, we forward fold over our own leg. Dropping the head down and just placing the hands wherever you feel you can reach to. Letting go of the neck, so make sure you've not got any tension through the neck, no tension through the jaw. And returning your awareness back to your breath. And on the exhales, what you can do is maybe see if you can just crawl those fingertips forward a wee bit more on the exhalation. Maybe see if you can drop the head down a little lower, the chest down towards the leg, a little lower on any exhalation. A couple more breaths. Stay for the inhalation and the exhalation. On the inhalation, rising up. Exhalation, hands through heart center. Now we're going to swap legs. So the leg that's straight, okay, is the one now it's going to be tucked under. So we're going to swap the legs straight. So my left leg comes straight, my right leg tucks underneath, and my top leg, which is now my left leg, steps over into that fish pose. We're trying to get our knees both to be pointing forward if you can, and sitting up nice and tall. Taking a nice inhalation, and on the exhalation, forward fold over your own legs. Drop the head down, chest leaning against your own legs. Now you might find one side is easier or harder, or they might just feel different, and that's okay. For most of us, different sides will feel different. Send the breath to any discomfort, any tension. Couple more breaths. Push those sit bones down. Make sure you're not tipping onto one butt cheek too much. Stay for the next inhalation, and the next exhalation, up we come. Okay, so swapping over to Janu Sirsasana on the other side. So we're, top leg comes straight, bottom leg, move it out from underneath. Sole of the foot pressed up again, inside of our legs. Inhale up to the top. And exhale, fold forward as far as you can. Just going to shuffle myself back a little, make sure you can see me. And again, relaxing the hip of the leg that's bent up, and let it fold out, fall out. And relaxing into that posture, maybe closing down the eyes. And just bringing your awareness to your breath. And on the exhalation, see if you can go a wee bit further. And if not, that's absolutely fine as well. If the mind has wandered off a little, that's okay, that's natural. But just bring it back to the breath. Stay for the next inhale and the next exhale. On the next inhale, rising up. Hands above your head and exhale to center. Okay, we're going to lengthen both legs out in front now. We're going to make sure we're sitting up on our sit bones. So you might just want to sort of pull the fleshier bits of your bum out, and you're sitting up nice and tall as much as you can. We're just going to do a nice stretch over our legs here. This is our Dandasana stretch, so our posture. So we're going to inhale as we reach up, and we're going to exhale as we fold forward. So try and fold forward first as far as you can from the hips, and then drop the hands and drop the head and the upper body and the chest over. Now if you need to bend the knees a little, it's absolutely fine. This one can be quite intense. Just bend the knees a little. Or also what's quite nice on this one is maybe just to pop a pillow underneath or a couple of pillows underneath, and it can just take away a wee bit of that big strain at the back of the legs, just to give a wee bit of support if you need it. Remembering relaxing the neck, relaxing the head, relaxing the shoulders, relax the jaw. If that's feeling okay and you want a wee bit more of a stretch, you can use the exhalation release again. So on the inhale, stay where you are. On the exhalation, just maybe go that wee bit further, creep the fingers forward, drop the head down if you can, and then relax into that new place. Also, to get further in that stretch, if you activate the feet are flat, pull the toes up, you'll feel a greater stretch up the back of the legs. Sending the breath to any discomfort, and try and stay for the last few breaths. Stay for one more breath cycle, so the inhalation and the exhalation. On the next inhalation, rising yourself up, and exhalation down through heart center. Maybe giving the legs a wee shake if you need it. Okay, so next what we're going to do is we're going to just pick the feet up behind us. We're going to come up onto the balls of our feet in a little crouch position, and we're just going to uncurl, bringing the head up last. So try and see if you can really stretch up the legs first before you release the lower back. Try and uncurl the middle back, the shoulder blades and the shoulders, and the head last. Okay, we're going to go into a squat position. So this is our Hindi squat. So you want your feet to be, if you've got a mat, slightly wider than your mat, or sort of mat distance apart. If you haven't, that's absolutely fine, but just judge it. So we're maybe going wider than your hips and wider than your shoulders. And you ideally want to keep the heels on the floor, so you only take your bum down as far as you can. So we're going to reach up, and on the exhale we're going to sit down in our Hindi squat. So we don't want the heels to come off the floor ideally, so if you're up here, that's absolutely fine. If you can, just pop the elbows in the knees and you just want to push them out a wee bit, dropping tailbone down if you can, but keeping the back up nice and tall through there. And you're probably going to feel this in the hips, and it's quite an intense one. So you might want to close down the eyes. You might even want to just move slightly in that. That sometimes feels quite nice to start off with, just as you're getting used to it. And then find your stillness. Try not to sit up nice and tall. Any point you need to come out of this, the release stretch is actually your forward fold. So if you need to release at any point, just pop the hands down, turn the toes forward, bring them in a wee bit, and then just hang heavy over your own legs. So if you need to be here, absolutely fine. And then you can come back and join us whenever you're ready. Or even if you just want to stay in forward fold, that's absolutely fine as well. So sending the breath to those areas of tension. I'm really feeling this one. Couple more breaths. Stay for the next inhale. And on the exhale, send the hips high, tailbone up, hands to the floor or as close to the floor as you can, walk the feet in a wee bit, and then just hang over your own legs, forward fold. Relax the neck, relax the shoulders, and hang over your legs. We're going to bend the knees and we're going to ground the hands here, and we're just going to step the feet back as if you're going into plank, but we're not actually going to go into plank, so not quite as far as that. And then just push the tailbone and the hips up into your downward facing dog. I'm just going to have a few breaths in our downward facing dog before we return to the floor. Let those heels drop to the floor, stretching out the back of the lower leg. Stay for the next inhale. And on the exhale, lower and drop the knees down into our tabletop position. And just coming up onto your knees, just going to do a little stretch on our knees, which is for our feet. And this one really kills me, so see how you get on with it. So we're going to sit up and we're going to tuck the toes, just the toes under. Hope you can see me. Just tuck the toes under, sitting up in our kneeling position, and then just sit back on those heels. And I find this really intense through my feet. So if you do, and you're a bit like me, that's okay. And you ever need to relax or just come out of it for a second, just come back up into the high knees, untuck the toes and rest in a kneeling position. For those of that are still here, bring your awareness to your breath. Maybe closing down your eyes. Send the breath to that discomfort. On the next inhale, rising up and untuck the toes. Well done. And exhale, lower back down. Okay, we're going to do a couple of shoulder stretch. So we're going to come into our tabletop position. So hands underneath our shoulders, knees underneath our hips, and finding our neutral spine. So to find our neutral spine, we want to do a bit of cat-cow for those that have done cat-cow. So you drop the belly down. I'm going to do it to the side as well, hopefully you can see. So drop the belly down and then curve all the way up into cat. And then in between those two extremes, in between cat and cow, find the middle, which will be your neutral spine. Okay, so we're going to do a bit of a shoulder stretch now. So we're going to inhale and we're going to reach your right arm up to the sky. And then we're going to exhale and we're going to thread that right hand in between the hand and the leg, and then let the shoulder drop to the floor. Let your head, so the ear side of your head, drop to the floor as well. And then if you want, you can reach that top hand, the left hand, as high up as you can towards the top of your mat, just to intensify that stretch a little and relax into this stretch. Keep the hips high so they're not sitting on the heels. So let that shoulder relax to the floor and reach that hand through. So if you can go a wee bit further, reach it a wee bit further through and reach the top hand forward a wee bit more as well. On your next inhale, we're going to come out the way we went in. So we're going to bring the top hand in towards your face. Inhale, reach the right hand up to the sky in that twist, and exhale back down to your tabletop. I'm going to try the other side. So inhale, exhale, thread the needle through, relax the shoulder down, relax the side of the face down, the head, and just take a breath in there. And then maybe reaching the top arm, which is now my right arm, up to the top of your mat if you can. And just staying there, returning your awareness to your breath. I want you to stay there. I'm just going to double check that this is still recording. So you stay in that posture. Yep, we're still good. So staying in that posture. A few more breaths. Maybe reaching the underarms of the arm that's threaded through even further away from the body. And the top hand reaching for the top of the mat. I'm getting ready to come out of our pose now. So bring the top hand back towards the face. On the inhale, reaching and twisting up to the ceiling, and exhale back down. Opening the knees up wide for me, toes touching at the back if you can, and we're just going to sit the bum back towards your heels and then stretch our hands forward and drop the head down. Now we're going to drop the the elbow down to the floor in a more restorative child's pose. And I want you to really think about pushing the bum back. Have the knees as wide as you feel comfortable. If it gets too intense in the hips, just narrow them slightly, but keep them as wide as you can. If it feels more comfortable for you, you can have a pillow at the front of you, either way around, and it can just be quite a nice support, and you can pull a wee bit further in on your chest if you're feeling a bit more of a strain in the upper body that doesn't feel comfortable. Up to you whether you want the props or not, or you're just sitting the forehead here. Nice deep breath, sending the hips back. So this is really good for opening up the hips. It's also great when we're reaching forward for the shoulders and the back. A few more breaths. And gently start to push yourselves back up and bring the knees together. And just have a minute. Sit up nice and tall, nice and relaxed. I'm going to pop the hands back on the floor. And we're just going to lift the tailbone up again, and we're going to take our right leg and we're going to bring our right leg as far forward as we can, and we're trying to get this top leg to be a nice horizontal, almost horizontal like the top of our mat. Don't worry if it can't. We lengthen out the back leg as far as it can, and we drop down into the hips. Okay, this is our pigeon, okay, our half pigeon. And just for a minute sitting here, lengthening through the upper back and the torso. And this one can feel really intense, so give it a go, see how you feel. And if you need to come out, just come back into child's pose, and then we return back to this posture, this pose when you're ready. If this is okay, I want you to start dropping the upper body forward, and we're just going to relax our head and our hands down and forward. Again, if it feels nice for you and feels better for you, you can pop the pillow. I would go a long ways on this one. And just give yourself a bit of support in front. You could maybe build it up with 2 pillows. And we should feel quite an intense stretch in the hip, in the groin, and the butt as well. Trying to see if you can at all. Sometimes we need to maybe sit more on one side than the other if it gets really intense, but try and see if you can keep the weight in the middle of your hips, in the middle of your pelvis, so evenly on both sides, and trying to keep lengthening the back leg that's straight. So I've got my right leg tucked in, my left leg straight and back. Bring your awareness back to your breath. Send it to any areas of tension, any areas of discomfort. This one could be a really nice one to do a wee bit longer, but as I said, I'm not going to do them that long tonight. So maybe taking your own time to do them a bit longer if you wish. As we come back out, pushing up into our tall position, tuck the back toes as if you were going to go pushing up into downward dog, and we are just going to let that foot sit back, maybe stretching into a three-legged dog because that often feels quite nice after that one. And then bringing that leg back down to our kneeling position and sitting up. Okay, so we'll do that on the other side. So hands down, tuck the toes under, lift the hips high so you create a bit of room. Lift the left leg up this time, doesn't need to go all the way up into three-legged dog, just to give us space. Let that leg come through, try and get as vertically as you can, and then gently lengthen the back leg, so that's our right leg now, as far back as you can. Maybe start to move a little just to settle yourself in and try and get the weight through both of the hips, both hips as even as you can, pushing the pelvis, let the pelvis drop down. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. If it feels okay, exhale and drop forward, taking the head and arms down to the mat in front of you. Inhale and exhale through the nose. And again, you might feel it different on this side. I certainly do. This is my tight hip. Sending that breath to the tension, to the discomfort. Trying to find stillness. Trying to find the breath. Hope you're still there. You're doing well. Breathe through it. Couple more breaths. Stay for the next inhale. And exhale. Pushing up. And just taking a few seconds to lift the upper body off. Tucking the back.